right, fellas. The game's the important thing today. Play football, you've got to use the flanks, and you've got to play fair.
So the ball just thrown in. McGregor gets his man out of the way. Tommy Carr comes, picks up the ball. Don't know how he got it actually out there legally. So Wise turns around. Oh, too easy. And the Eagles celebrate. Look at that. Well, they were celebrating just a couple of weeks ago in that qualifying final, the Eagles winning. But this afternoon, it's the preliminary final. There is no way but forward for the winner and to the grand final. Tim Ginniver, Port Adelaide v the Eagles. It shapes as a really interesting contest.
Be a great contest, as you saw in that last game. The Eagles were fantastic and close, and I think they'll have to be like that again, as Port did improve in that area last week against Nord.
Well, all season it's been close. If you look at those results, just under 3 goals in every single match.
Very close, and I know they don't score a lot against each other, so I would expect a similar contest in what may be difficult conditions depending on the weather.
Well, we'll just see what those conditions are going to be like, because Michael Parsons is down on the boundary.
Thanks, Neil. Yes, the weather will play a role today. It was a beautiful day this morning, not a breath of wind. Then around lunchtime, the isobars gave it a bit of a squeeze, and in it came. Wind just screamed out of the north, got up to 70 knots at one stage, 70 kilometres an hour, I should say, at one stage. In football parlance, that's about 172 goal breeze, I think. But it's eased off since then. Still probably 3 or 4 goals favouring that southern end. The new grandstand will obviously shelter it a bit. But if you looked at those results from the 3 meetings they've had this year, these two teams, top score of 12 goals. So you'd expect a tough and tight encounter, and the weather will only help that type of game unravel today.
A couple of changes for both sides. Tim, as we watch the Eagles going through their banner, it's such a big banner you don't have time to read it, it's so large. But as we look at the Eagles lineup, a couple of interesting changes they've made.
They have. I mean, for young Wise and Skipworth to be out of the team is a bit of a surprise, but quality players coming in, and Darren Holland and Peter Fiacci. So they got a very good lineup. They just have to be good in close again and just get their goals from their work rate in the middle.
And the Port players, very simple message. Only know one road, and of course they've done it before so many times. And Port, a couple of late changes, a couple of very interesting ones.
Looks like David Brown's out with some sort of an injury. We're not sure what just yet, but also looks like Phil McGuinness has been omitted. So Alfie Steed comes into the lineup. He'll give absolutely everything. Eugene Warrior as well. So look, that's a fair lineup. As you can see, they were good last week. They have to be good, and they really, Ackland and O'Connor have to control Lindsay.
And we'll just see if they can do that as we go to the first bounce. Here's David Mackay.
So the preliminary final of 2001 underway. It's Port Adelaide and the Eagles. Central District have already made their way to the grand final, and one of these sides next week will play off for the flag. Great contest in the middle. Lindsay and O'Connor, the big fellas, really committed, and there were Flintstones out there. Poole goes to ground, tattles the ball forward. Braden Lyle taken high. What does the umpire say? There'll be another bounce. No easy free kicks today as Tim Ginniver joins us. Tim, it's Port Adelaide and the Eagles.
Well, looks like a free kick's been paid now, David. Lindsay getting something out of that contest.
Lindsay gives it off to McClure, who goes long and hard towards full forward. Archie over the top. It's an infringement. McGregor got one, said the umpire, and will take the free kick. Well, Kevin Chambers was right on the spot. With the naked eye, it was difficult to pick, but there was certainly some jostling in the contest.
Yes, there always is. I'd have to see that on the replay to pick it up myself, David. He's indicated hanging on, so perhaps that's what's happened.
So McGregor, who kicked 4 goals last week against Central District as the Eagles went down, he was their lone hand in their forward line. Chips away. It wasn't a convincing kick, but he's put it through. First blood of the preliminary final goes to the Eagles, and McGregor gets his first.
Well, that's a great opener for the Eagles. Exactly what Ronnie Fuller would have wanted. It comes straight out of the centre with a free kick paid to Lindsay.
Free kick to
and
Colville.
Another kick now. Well, I can't see the hanging on McGregor at all.
And the Eagles will get 2 out of this because Ashley has infringed. Now, there's a fair bit of body contact out there, and Colville, the man that Ashley's been given the job of tagging today, has got the kick. He's been pretty good this year for the Eagles. He's kicked 17 goals from his 22 games, and he kicks from 50, and it drifts off. way off. Poetic justice, you might say, but Colville had a chance, really, to ram it home for the Eagles.
Yeah, well, it would have been a fantastic start to get 2 goals within 2 minutes. Not to be, but still, goal on the board early like this is good.
Something you won't see often. O'Connor kicking the ball. Polton now off the left leg, just over the shoulder into some space. Just hit and hope. Warrior comes over the top, pumps it forward. Robertson's on the end of it. Robertson goes forward, kicks it in long. Contest in the goal square. Over the back came Binky. Floriani over the ball. Will they rush it? They will. Quick and incisive, Tim.
Well, that was a very quick movement up the wing, wasn't it? Good effort by Warrior to knock it over the top. But here, Binky made a fantastic performance to try and take the mark, and then Floriani did well to get it through for a point. Good start of the game.
Port Adelaide have taken on a different look. Warrior, Alfie Steed and Robertson, their forward line. They've lacked Crummers in their forward sets in the last few weeks. Well, Stephen Williams has fixed that in one foul swoop today at the selection table. Floriani.
Great kick.
Beautifully presented kick. Lindsay applied a good tackle on Waite, but O'Connor stands in the way, and Eugene Warrior marks inside 50s, about 45 out. Look to play on, but now, with the breeze at his back, will go back and have a shot for goal.
He had 2 or 3 in the corridor there, but I think it was sensible. I saw Alfie Steed actually lead and then change his mind and say, no, you go back and take the shot.
I thought Earl's kick to Floriani
was a beauty.
Was a beauty, but how quickly it rebounds in this modern game. And Warrior, who started his career with Port Adelaide, had a stint at Glenelg, then Norwood. Back now with the black and white. And in a sense, he's home.
Absolutely. Let's watch his kick for goal now.
Well, he has kicked 15 goals this year from only 8 appearances, so we haven't seen much of Eugene. Form and fitness. But at his best, he's electrifying, and from 48 he goes for goal, and he's kicked it. So Port Adelaide respond 4 minutes into the preliminary final, and Port Adelaide answer with a goal.
Well, that's a fantastic start for Eugene Warrior, but also to this final. It's been very, very quick. I mean, the Eagles got it down there like lightning, got a goal, and then had an opportunity for a second. Then Port ran it straight down the flank, got this turnover here. O'Connor was quick to react. And the turnover very costly in the end.
And that was a crucial turnover because behind O'Connor was an Eagles player and a lot of about 50 or 60 metres of space behind him. So crucial, and Julian Waite was the man that forced that turnover really with a smother. Ball back in the middle, Eagles by a point. Straight down to Colville, he's over the ball, so is Sikalella, but the man on his feet and then losing it. Wilson it was. Now Brown can't take control, they fight, Waite takes the ball on the ground, gets to his feet, quickly put down. Boy, scrambly football, tight in there. Finally, possession. McClure gave it to Lindsay. He's quickly taken. The ball's still in dispute. Finally, Colville, clean disposal, gets it forward. Matthews over the shoulder, inside 50 for the Eagles. Kluzak under it, great mark. Oh, what a game. What an opening.
Well, wasn't that a tough passage? At sort of half-forward wing there in the end here. Holton didn't do well. Kluzak did particularly well.
Well, that's another interesting matchup, Tim. Holton and Kluzak.
Yeah, it is an interesting matchup. I'll have to look at that one for a while before I make my mind up.
Archie obviously gets the job on McGregor.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad deal.
Kluzak's not tall, but he's very quick.
So Kluzak lines it up. There's a shot from behind the goals. No mistake. It's through. The Eagles have another goal, and Kluzak has his 63rd for the season.
Well, he's a good player, and he's normally a very good kick for goal. Sometimes he's a little bit off beam, but by and by the majority, he's a pretty good kick for goal. Here, I just reckon that Nigel Fegan just allowed Matthews to go. I think he tried to anticipate the handball rather than go the body, and Scotty Matthews got the chance to just hook around his body and get it to Kluzak, who took a great mark and finished off beautifully.
The Eagles do look a little better with Kluzak in the goal square rather than McGregor. I think he just gives them some leading targets.
Michael Parsons on the boundary. Thanks for that, Michael. The Eagles lead by 5 points as O'Connor gets it down. Crowell blasts it towards centre forward on left boot, but Carter, who's formed Tim in the first 2 finals, has been terrific.
Outstanding, really. I think he's probably, him along with David Brown, who's out today, have been the finals players for Port Adelaide.
The 2000 Foss Williams medalist, playing for South Australia against West Australia. He's only played 3 games this year, Carter, but he's looked better in every one. as Tape carries the ball across the line. Some doubt about him with a calf injury, but he has the hamstring, just with a slight bit of tape around it, so you might suspect that it's more the hamstring than the calf muscle, and the Eagles might well be foxing. O'Connor with strength. Paddling it forward was Beveridge. With a little bit of space, Dazenos. Beveridge, slick work, gets it back. And McClure had the kick smothered. Shirley gave it off to him, but the Port Adelaide defence is standing very solid.
Well, that was a great smother, wasn't it? It's those little 1%ers in finals that sometimes keep doing them. Turns it over. McClure, bang.
7.5 minutes into the first term. 2 straight goals, the Eagles. Port Adelaide 1 goal, 1. As O'Connor from behind, he really is winning the ball. Crowell feeds it off to Beveridge. Colville, Eugene Warrior got him at the back door, getting through Pedler. Beveridge. Now it's Nicolella with skill. What can he do with it? Chips it in forward. Beautiful kick. Dragged down in the contest was McGregor against Archie, and the umpire's right there.
But this time I think he got it right. Honestly, in that first one, in all honesty, I don't think there was any hanging on, but this one is absolutely blatant. Just carries on with it, brings him to the ground, and that's impeding on his ability to go and get the football, so that's a free.
It's an interesting tactic they use these days, the defenders. They grab on with their free arm and come around the body and hope that the umpire's on the wrong side. That time, no mistake, because he dragged him down.
So McGregor from 30 metres out directly in front, goes for goal, and he's drilled it for a point.
Yeah, he missed. That's a costly loss because, you know, that could turn into 4 goals. You think of the out in the full by Colville with the free kick after that. And then that missed by McGregor. Didn't want to miss too many.
We're kicking into the breeze, but the thing is,
That's
it's
terrible.
it managed to find the player though. Carter. He's got a player short, Lyle. Possession to Lyle on the far side. He's got a player running. The kick wasn't the best. In fact, it's really set a task for Port Adelaide. Wilson now with the ball. Spins it wide. Polton. Player back on the ground. Crowell, he's struggling for the Eagles as Port struggle it forward. Wilson goes to Polton. Turns inside, gives it back to Wilson. Turns inside, gives it back to Steed. Steed under siege. They close them down. Now it's out the back. Tape. Tape gets it forward and out on the full.
Great pressure, Robertson.
Oh, look, there's great pressure and pace on both sides at the moment. Nobody's getting an easy possession. Tackling's been very good on both sides.
So they swing the ball across the middle to Tommy Carr. Carr changes direction down to the grandstand, main grandstand side. Fegert, strong mark. Got Matthews out of the way. Tried to get him out of the way twice. Goes back, not a lot on offer inside forward 50. Goes short for O'Connor. It doesn't get that far. Tate cleans up. Good. Well, the hand pass wasn't the best. Head down.
Ashley.
Ashley came the other way. Colville took him. Now, umpire will surely come in. Matthews crashed to the ground. And Tim Pfeiffer will take possession.
Well, there's a few terrible bits of play there. Again, the kick to O'Connor wasn't good enough by Fegert. Must hit your targets.
Umpire Pfeiffer puts the ball to ground. Lindsay paddles that one down, looking for Beveridge. Warrior upended. What does the umpire say? Got one high in the context. So Warrior has already got one. Can kick for goal with the breeze at his back from about 53 or 54 metres.
Well, he made the distance pretty easy on that first kick. This one may be a little more difficult. I reckon he's backing himself in.
Left post.
Fair breeze behind him, chaps.
Michael, were you out on the ground? I trundled out there earlier. Looked to be very strong, but out in the middle it didn't appear to be all that strong.
I think he should be able to carry the distance with the breeze under the ball.
Left post is the target. The breeze, if there is any, or what we think there might be, will suck it through. He takes right post, and it's going further right. So the kick was good. Certainly you're right, Tim. He made the distance.
Yeah, he made the distance, and Michael Parsons said the breeze was definitely going to help him with that, but you probably need to aim left post or at least centre of the goals, and that was always going to keep right.
Port Adelaide bench as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yeah, just see with the changes, the late changes made by the Port Adelaide team. A niggle was the way David Brown's injury was described, but sitting down, Mark Clayton, Kane Ackland and Mark Wade.
Pedler goes back towards the goal square to try and open up play on the far side of the ground, but it hasn't really worked for the Eagles. I think Pesh will go to the boundary. He doesn't. He goes a little bit inboard. Lucky over the back. McClure with possession.
Kept his feet.
Skates away. Yeah, he did well. Kept his feet. Got it up forward. And doing well is Carter opposed to Sicolella. He's got the midfielder who's rotating. because he started with Beveridge. Brown now for Port Adelaide. Gets it up forward. Robertson was the dive. Kick off the ground by Earl, and then wide. Now they try and shut down Port Adelaide. Brown forces his way through. The ball at half forward for Port Adelaide. And we've travelled 12 minutes in the opening term. The Eagles by 5 points.
Yes, interested at the selection table for the Eagles as well. Darren Holland coming back in and sitting down after 3 weeks in the twos. Peter Fiacci gets a chance in the final, and David Gallagher.
Ball again in dispute there, and well, Poole gave one out, the umpires picked it up. Just a little push on the base of the pack. The umpire didn't want any of that, so McClure will take the free kick.
Got to concentrate on getting the ball in those situations and not giving away free kicks like that.
Darzanos marks on the outer side. The pacey little half-forward flanker drives towards Lindsay. From behind, O'Connor crushed him. Carter's been very good early. Handballs it away under pressure from Crowell. It's Ashley. Hurry kick towards the boundary line. How far out has it gone? It's bounced inside the line and drifted across. So we're 13 minutes into the first quarter of the preliminary final. The Eagles lead by 5 points. And it's turning into a real stoush. Fruin, who's got the job today on Poole, paddles it down from behind. Poole just very slick out to Brown, to Carr, to O'Connor. Standing alone in the midfield, that's dangerous for the Eagles. And forward it goes to Harwood, who kicked 5 last week. And he gets a chance to open the account today from about 45 metres.
Now that's more like it. Darryl Poole concentrated on getting the football in the contest, and that's how you start the movement. Now, good pass by O'Connor, and this man can definitely make the distance.
So Harwood, in his 11 games, has 22 goals, 10. Conversion rate about 75%. It's exactly what you want for a full forward. The kick is a beauty, right through the middle, and Port Adelaide reclaim the lead by a point. 14 minutes into the first term of the preliminary final.
Mark Harwood, as you said, kicked 5 last week. He is a very good kick. I knew he had no trouble with distance on that occasion, but the accuracy was absolutely spot on, pinpoint. But as far as this game goes, I still see it very, very even at the moment. Look at that for eye on the ball. Once you've lined up, that's all you have to do is keep your eye on the ball and make sure you do a decent kick. He's done that well, Mark Harwood. But Eagles very much in this contest, if they are kicking into a fairly stiff breeze, they've done a good job so far.
Ball down in the middle. Lindsay comes over the top, gets it towards Pesh. Oh, good quick hands from the Eagles. Colville dribbles the ball forward, really. Cluzak looked to be held, didn't matter. Off the ground, Sicolella, goal, Eagles. Quick reply.
Oh, Ronnie Fuller been wrapped in that one. That was good work in the centre of the ground. Got the quick disposal. That's as good as a sock as you'll see. Kicked it off the instep of the boot. Blood rule for Port Adelaide. But as we see the replay, Sicolella, beautifully done.
Colton has a gash above his left eye.
Must have been that last contest.
Paul Lindsay important in that goal. He's starting to get his hands on the ball a little bit around the ground, although Ryan O'Connor is jumping very hard.
Mark Clayton will come on and obviously gets the match up on Cluzak. Just know that in these sorts of games, Tim, there is just a full-on commitment from all players at every contest.
Yeah, and those ones, I mean, you're always going to have Archie and McGregor smashing into you as well, so those sort of things happen. It's a very thin area where the skin is right on bone, so it does break open pretty easy.
These days, there's no stitches. They just take them down and staple them. Get the player back on the field. Umpire Kevin Chambers with the ball. 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes played into this first term. The margin sits at 5 points in favour of the Eagles as we go back to the middle. O'Connor's tactic today is to jump into Lindsay and try and wear him down. You can see that early. Beveridge floats it forward. Matthews, who's been quiet in these finals, off to Lindsay. A long, raking left foot kick towards McGregor at full forward. Archie did well to spoil. Cluzak applied a Shepherd, allowed Sicolella to swing through this way, that way. Clayton's on his hammer, but he squares it up. And look at this. Matthews directly in front, 20 metres out. Great play, the Eagles. Good work, Chris Cluzak, and Sicolella was the finisher.
Was good play by the Eagles. The big concern for Port Adelaide at the moment, even though O'Connor's made a contest against Lindsay, they've got every centre break, I reckon. They've been fantastic.
Kane Ackland's going to get his turn now. O'Connor sits down.
Look at Port Adelaide. Off the ball, it's just a wad of words. They're involved in this as Matthews comes in. gets his first, and the Eagles now lead by 11 points. Matthews puts it truly from 25 metres out.
That's a very good kick by Matthews, but all the good work done in the centre of the ground again. Sikalala keeping his head over the football. He's a good little player. This way, that way, back again onto his right. Finds his target, unselfish. Didn't want to blast and have a silly snap. Knew that if he got it to the top of the square, that was going to be an easy shot.
Back in the middle, Ackland to go from the left for the first time today. Post to Lindsay. Suits Lindsay really. He'll come over the back, knocks it out of Ackland's hands, took his head along the way, the umpire said. So Port Adelaide first touch out of the middle. Ackland with his first kick as well. Just goes long towards the right half forward, and Binky, strong mark out in front of the eyes. They'll drift down, Harwood will lead. Binky ignores that.
Binky can kick this, don't worry. Binky can kick this.
Lines it up, gives it a ride all the way to the goal square, over the back, and well, I don't know anybody got a hand on it. Didn't matter in the end. 3 for the minor score.
In the end, I reckon he just held it a little long. If you're going to have that real goal, the goal, then fair enough. But in the end, I saw Harwood take off on a lead, and I'm always a little one for first thoughts, best thought.
I thought Binky, with his powerful leg, you're right, Tim, he just seemed to hold the kick, because if he'd have gone back and really opened up, distance would not have been a factor for him whatsoever. Crowell is playing on the far wing. Been some good delivery from the full-back area. Crowell lobs it forward underneath this one through and just splattered all over him. Wilson, backdoor it goes. It's aerial ping-pong at the moment. Steve gets it back to Ashley, who goes forward. Carr commits himself to the contest, kicks it forward. Pedler was coming harder. Now Crowell and Warrior go harder. Crowell was good. Shirley committed himself. Didn't deviate whatsoever as Binky came in hard. And there's a free kick back off the ball. And it'll go to Shirley against Binky.
Just hanging on too long.
Shirley's delivery from the full-back area has been pretty good. And now from half-back, target forward was Lindsay. Ackland spoils away from him. Ashley is roving beautifully, drives it forward. Floriani misjudged it, picked it up. Shirley, short one, needs a little bit of support, but dashing through. Here comes Johncock over the top of the ball. Let's sit for him. It does. He handballs it out, gets it out to Brown. Over the top now. Ashley is finding plenty of the ball in this first quarter. Full forward he goes, and Binky was upended. Play on, says the umpire. The Port crowd aren't happy. Warrior feeds it off to Johncock on the left. He goes to goal, but it's out of bounds on the full. The Eagles' pressure really has brought undone the Port Adelaide forwards.
Yeah, little Johncock there. Looks like he's going to have a run on the ball today, and good effort by Eugene Warrior to get out of traffic here. Gives off, but as you can see, he gets no curl on this ball whatsoever. Just flat punts it straight out of bounds on the full. Good little player, though.
Hall's about to bring the ball back into play. Johncock missing one out on the full, and Colville missing one for the Eagles out on the full in the first term so far. Fruin was at the front, taken to ground. Robertson, clever, round on the left leg, got it inside 50, just couldn't find Binky. Binky, though, roves the ball well. Now to Steed, he's taken from behind, and too high in the back. Take your pick. Either way, Alfie Steed's going to get up and have a shot from perhaps 45 metres.
Yeah, good at Fruin was, he anticipated the whole movement, that was good, but in the end, just his body weight took him too high and really just got him in the back as well. I think paid both, didn't you, Neil?
I would have thought.
I think he did. It was a 2-for-1 deal.
Great story, this Alfie Steed. He's had a
it's a tragic
knee operation this season and a broken jaw. A lot of injuries over the course of his career. Lines it up, goal. He's happy, and the Port fans in the stands are happy, and so they should be. Just a little bit closer. 4 points, the Eagles' lead has been cut to.
Hey, he'd love this too, Tim. His 50th game, Alfie Steed, today. And it's a testimony to his commitment and his courage that he's made it.
Well, we all thought he was gone at Albion that day when his knee went, and then he broke his jaw when his comeback game, and he's out there again. He is a dead-set nut, and I tell you what, you've got to admire him.
Ron Fuller just making a little rotation change. Jamie Tate comes off, and David Gallagher goes on to Eugene Warrior, who's had some important touches early for Port Adelaide.
Thanks, Michael. 4-1 to 3-3, 4 points the margin. 21.5 minutes into the game. And Ackland takes the ball out of ruck. Lindsay gathers him in. Ashley tries to get it forward, but Colville wraps him up. What does the umpire say? It's holding the ball. Got to get it out. went to ground and had to get it out. Didn't. And the umpires are dead right on that one, as Crowell will take the free kick. Now he's playing on the outer wing, Crowell, used as a centre-half forward or centre-half back. A hard-running wingman today as Pesh handballs to Floriani. Claimed by Julian Waite. Goes to ground. Here comes Fegan. Beautifully smothered by McClure. Floriani gets it forward. Gee, there's a contest as players go hard at it. McGregor comes over the top. Darzanos is there, but look who comes up with the ball.
Great smother that, isn't it, McClure?
That is a super smother.
That's why he's important to the team.
And by Kevin Chambers. Very experienced umpire.
Darryl Poole coming off.
Poole is coming off with a blood rule. And O'Connor will come back on. So they rotate their big men in their forward line. And I guess the tactic today is to keep them rotating and keep them fresh.
You just noticed a little scratch on Darryl Poole's head there, so he's off with the blood rule.
Looks like a bullet hole. Michael?
No snipers here, mate.
It's down inside Pesh. Oh, slips a beautiful hand pass. Darzanos into open goal. And Pesh, I'll go back and congratulate him because he set that up with some lightning hands off the ruck.
Darzanos makes his way back to do exactly that. They've been very good, the Eagles, around the stoppages at the moment. Every time, centre breaks, you name it, they've dominated it. And kicking into a pretty stiff breeze, but it doesn't seem they've had any trouble doing that. I mean, the way they've run the ball, but none of their kicks have held up, and they've all held their line, so some fantastic work by the Eagles at the moment.
That breeze is actually dropping off as the afternoon wears on. And you'll notice that Lindsay has now gone to pick up Ryan O'Connor on playing it in the back pocket.
Eugene Warrior. Oh. Forward. Port Adelaide. Who's that? Wilson.
Yep.
Oliver Wise. He's lined them up and he's finished it off. So Port Adelaide respond. This is a real arm wrestle here in the preliminary final. We're 24 minutes in and it's goal for goal. This is a shootout.
Well, it's fantastic work there. Ackland's definitely made a difference in the middle, and plus having Lindsay out of there. Look at that effort by Eugene Warrior. That was superb. Robinson's hands was even as good as that movement. Have a look at this. This is great. Onto the running Wilson, who I think's a very good wingman and plays well there. And that's a really good movement. But this is a great final so far. Great first turn.
Misty rain falling, and who said these two sides struggled to score? Well, they haven't so far. Colville out of the middle for the Eagles. Out in front of McClure. Johncock worried him out of it. Just gets it forward. Good kick. Finds Warrior, who's back, bouncing and on his feet. Goes inside 50 again. The target, Lindsay, punches from behind O'Connor. And then down to the front, it came to Brown. Going towards the goals. Bouncing, minor score. For the margin, 3 points now. Port 4-4, the Eagles 5-1.
Tell you what, when both sides get a movement, they're off and running, aren't they? They both look alive today. Really sharp. Makes for a good contest.
I guess the question will fundamentally work out as to how fresh they can be at the end, because one of these sides will face Central District next week. And the Bulldogs will be well rested and raring to go as Fruin drives it up. Lindsay gets a little shove from Ackland from behind. A good mark taken by Crowley. He's covering plenty of ground, playing on the outer wing. He seems to have a licence to roam today. Fegan lost his footing. Back comes Carr, almost taken in the tackle. 3-on-1, but he still dispatched the kick forward. And Lindsay, 2 bites at the cherry, marks it on the grandstand wing.
That's a fair mark. Very good in the one-on-ones.
Well, he was Port Adelaide's bogeyman in the qualifying final. Well, the Eagles got up in that one. Slender margin of 13 points, and Lindsay dominated the big man department. Johncock thumps it down. Carr gets it back to Lyle, roaming as a sweeper in defence to Ashley, who's tagging Colville but finding plenty of the ball himself. And Robertson toe pokes it along the ground and out of play. 26.5 minutes gone, and the margin still only 3 points in favour of the Eagles.
As the rain just begins to trickle down.
So ball in on centre wing. Ackland looked to have the better of Fruit. It's still in dispute, though, and Ashley just content to knock it back over the line, set up again. Port Adelaide trailing by 3 points.
What he was really doing then, Cross, he was just making sure that Colville didn't get it. He's just got a terrific mindset at the moment.
Blood rule for Colville.
Matthew Ashley very keen to tell the umpire that Colville had the smallest scratch on his knee.
Just going to say, he might have found another way to stop Colville. Find some blood on him. So the redhead has a bit of red material on his knee, I think it is. Is that right, Michael?
Peter Fiacci will come on to replace Colville. I think he'll be on for about 20 seconds and Colville will be right back on.
So they go at it again. Oh, it's heavy and close. Wait, it was good. He got possession. Somehow Ashley got it onto the boot, got it forward. Binky now in a race with Hall. Hall did well, took Binky towards the line, eventually over the line. So both sides just working so hard in, at times, difficult conditions.
Just interesting that they've actually put Lindsay down on O'Connor in the forward line. Well, I actually think if you're dominating around the ground with the big man, leave him up there.
Crowell up and down, takes the ball out of the ruck contest, but handballs away. Warriors 40 out, turns it towards the goal. This will be a screamer if he kicks it, and he has. That is a screamer. Team lifting goal to Warriors, an exciting electric player, and he's done exactly what Stephen Williams has put him in the side to do.
That is fantastic. Alfred Steve's just demanding of him to keep going, keep alert, because his first term has been outstanding. He's been brilliant. He's been in everything. He was running wider and wider to the pocket. I'm thinking huge, huge, but I have seen him kick these before, so he did it again. How he bent that back with a drop punt. Yeah, well, I asked the question as well, Eugene. How did you do it, son?
7 very good possessions already.
The medical staff have done their work on the boundary line. Polton back on for Port Adelaide. Colville back on for the Eagles, both who had come off the ground because of bleeding.
Fruin opposed to Ackland. He got the ball down and the Eagles get it forward again. On the ground, good work from Waite, but still the ball in dispute. Finally, Ashley comes up, kicks the ball, stumbles it about 10 yards forward. Now off the ground from Pesh. Into open territory. Brown first there, pursued by Darzanos, brought to ground. The umpire said that was okay. Now Colville over the ball. He knows he's got one close, and that's Beveridge. Stumbles around finally to Darzanos, takes off, puts the ball under his wing, kicks it forward, out in front. Here they come. Fruin from behind, went to ground. Now the Port chance to clear. Over the ball, Archie picks it up. Brown goes under a high one, then gets it out wide. Polton's running for him. Off the left leg, he's got Binky on a lead. Binky out in front, takes the mark. Wheels around, he'll want a quick lead from Harwood. Harwood will come up the centre of the ground. Binky goes that way. And also there is O'Connor under the ball. It comes to the back. Steed roving. Colville got his left foot to the ball and will be happy to see it out. 29-minute mark. And Port Adelaide has the lead by 3 points in the opening term in the preliminary final.
Just a little greasy now with the rain.
Stephen Williams got a mismatch. He's got Binky on Hall, which is a good move for Port Adelaide, but not so good for the Eagles. I think Crowell could go back on Binky.
Okay.
Gallagher's struggling back there. He might be the wingman that the Eagles need to relieve Crowell back into defence. But there are a couple of mismatches as Julian Waite goes to the goals. It's going to get there. No, it's touched on the line. Beautifully touched on the line. Pedler got back and just got a fingernail to it.
And he's very happy about it too, David. This is a fantastic effort because I thought it was going to just run over the line. He just gets his hand on it. Or is that over?
Ball not fully over, I reckon.
Good effort.
Ball's going to be holeless, bowless over, but I reckon he touched the side of the ball. It was already over. So
ball has to be fully over the line for it to register.
Good effort. Good decision.
Ball kicked in on the far side. Gallagher goes high, takes possession, can't get away from O'Connor. He had a runner there and tries to duck under the tackle. Tony Brown took him. Ball in dispute. Crowell, he's been good so far. Hall picks it up, goes for the boundary, kicks it along the boundary successfully. Gets it out of bounds on the wing position. Right wing for the Eagles. 31-minute mark and the Eagles trail by 4 points.
Andrew Crowell, 4 kicks and 5 handballs.
Crowell, as he said, made a very, very good start to this game. Fruin opposed to Ackland. Well, Ackland got the ball, but the Eagles get it forward. Darzanos, well, in the end, he follows up. Just can't take possession. McClure could. Just took possession immediately. Umpire says he's probably lucky there. Because once it wasn't high and he got jumped on by John Cock, and that's what they're pointing out.
A little bit like the Matthew Ashley one, but probably gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Just the rain a little heavier, I think, Michael.
Just a small drizzle to keep us all uncomfortable.
Oh, we're pretty comfortable up here. The ball sped out by the Eagles again. They're doing well in tight with their hands. Beveridge gets the ball forward. Eventually it's over the back. Polton will clean it up. Looks up, decides that he can take possession rather than just see it over the boundary line. Gets it outside 50, only just. Turns it over. Ciccalella. Umpire didn't like that. Yeah, oh no. Gee, I don't like to see that. They come in, they warn the player, and they just slow everything down. They're going to penalise him. Unloads. Huge kick. Almost. Polton was back there to recover. Perhaps what was his mistake in the first place?
I think he did right. I think he was very desperate to recover that one.
Polton at 185 centimetres and 85 kilograms is matched up with Kluzak, 186 centimetres and 88 kilograms. So there's not much in that.
No, it's not. And Polton is quick off the mark as well, so probably a good matchup.
Moggy Lyles stats early, hasn't had a lot of the ball. Braden Lyles stats early, he hasn't had a lot of the ball.
No, just 2 kicks and 2 handles. Very quiet for Lyle.
He's playing as a sweeper across half-back, though. I think his role is more defensive than attacking. You'll see him start to unload when Port Adelaide take control in defence if they do. But the job here is to restrict the Eagles as Stephen Williams looks on pensively. He's got his matchups pretty right at the moment, Tim.
Robert Shirley's on Lyle, so that would explain the low possession rate.
Fair enough. So the siren sounds at quarter time of the preliminary final. It is Port Adelaide leading the Eagles by 4 points.
Fantastic first term, absolutely brilliant. I thought the contests from both sides were magnificent. The Eagles were great in their centre breaks. I think they ended up winning in 6-3. They were very good. And some of their play and up forward was very good as well, with Kluzak and McGregor working well together. Port Adelaide, on the other hand, were fantastic, and I thought Eugene Warrior's first term was one to delight the crowd.
Stay with us. You'll enjoy the second quarter, I'm sure. It's Port Adelaide 5-5. The Eagles 5-1. 4 points the margin in the preliminary final of 2001. Umpire Kevin Chambers holds the ball aloft to start the second quarter of the 2001 preliminary final. The Eagles trail by 4 points, but it's been a great first term by both sides. As Ackland, who made a significant impact in ruck when moved there in the latter part of the first quarter, is up and down, and going to ground is Matthew Ashley, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce again. Poole is lurking around the ball, more bandages than an Egyptian mummy. Lindsay in ruck. Poole takes it out. He's gathered, tries to get the kick away. Shirley couldn't get clear. Poole dives on top of it, and the umpire will come and have a bounce. It's significant, Tim, that in this arm wrestle, neither side is allowing the other to get clear of the middle.
The Eagles were better at it in the first term, I believe.
So we go down to Michael Parsons with the Port Adelaide bench.
Yeah, Clayton, Wade and O'Connor.
And Brown struggling against the tide in there. He gets pulled to ground. Another opportunity for Poole to come in and muscle a few of the Eagles. Just to remind him he's around.
Interesting to note, both coaches spent some time at the quarter-time huddle talking about their structure in the middle of the ground. So they're both conscious of the ruck duels.
So, again, ball, tough contest. Lots of players milling around just off to the left. Steed's isolated in the goal square for Port Adelaide. Interesting choice is Chris Robinson coming off for O'Connor.
It'll be interesting to see what Ronnie Fuller does about this one.
So O'Connor comes on, he'll go to Jason Earl. And the umpire pulls out a free kick to stop all the funny business in there, I think. Gets it off quickly, Ciccalella goes forward, and he finds Lindsay. Ball knocked away by Ackland. Ackland comes again. Now it's wide, the Eagles have an opportunity. Beveridge feeds out a hand pass. Up and under from Earl, goes in long, Kluzak over the back, Colville running on, Ashley's with him, he's been with him all day, and just like the sheepdog, he rounds him up.
Just telling him that he's not going to get away. Colville, you want to keep on him. He's a dangerous player, clever.
Colville reminding him that he got to the ball first, and that's what it's about, but don't you worry, I don't think Matthew Ashley's going to go away from his task. Ackland gets his player off the ball. Finally, the Eagles in over it again. Ball tap forward, Beveridge over it, and Lyle came the other way, and he really wanted it. And in the end, he succeeded in getting it out of bounds.
Actually should have let Johncock go with it. I don't know whether he was aware that that was his teammate. A few changes being made too. O'Connor came on, so they took Earl off and they threw Pedler on to try and get those matchups right.
Tate has gone back too to pick up Binky. I think that's a better matchup for the Eagles. Brown cops one in the midriff and a free kick. Cicolella remonstrates with the umpire. There's plenty of movement forward for Brown. The option he takes is Wilson underneath it. Krause's direct opponent caught a metre or so behind. Wilson played on, Pesh threw him to the ground. The umpire's picked out one. It's going the way of Port Adelaide.
Might be Tommy Carr on the
Tommy
bottom of that.
Carr dived over the top of the ball. It was a Johncock. Johncock wins one. Umpire Pfeiffer said he copped one high. Johncock uses the ball, goes forward to Carter. From behind, the spoil was Crowell who forced the ball across the line. 4 minutes gone and a 4-point margin.
Yeah, Johncock just went to the short 50-50 then. I thought he just should have gone right down the line. You had O'Connor and Paul to aim it.
That's Brown over the ball, hands it off to Waite. Finally back to the ruckman, Ackland, drives the ball forward, over the top of Binky, didn't read it well, Pedler did at the back though. He left his man and took off. His kick was perfect to Matthews. Matthews back off the mark. Through comes Earl. On the lead comes McGregor. Oh, taken the ground. Umpire says that's okay. Ackland tries to fight his way through, almost too long. Now it's Pesh, spins off the left foot, floats it up there. Polton best place, can't take possession, look out. Oh yes, good a hand from Polton in the end, just got it over the line under pressure.
He would have been very happy to see that ball go over the line because he was outnumbered 2-1, Beveridge and Cluzak.
Bruin has gone back to pick up O'Connor, who's sitting about the centre-half forward area for Port Adelaide as Lindsay paddles it down. McGregor tried to apply a Shepherd over his shoulder, doing it unbelievably was McClure, and almost created something from nothing.
Would have been a great goal to start the term, and the Eagles have really been alive this game. Some of their movements have been very slick, and their hand and foot skills have been up to it, so great contest so far.
3 points the difference. Port Adelaide just nose in front at the moment as Carr brings it out. He'll bring it out to this grandstand side, long and high, looking for Fegan at the back. Judged it pretty well, got the hands on the ball, couldn't pull it in. Lyle comes against the tide. Brown shoved aside by McClure. Somehow the hand pass came out. Good work from Cicolella, got some space when there was none. Set up, McGregor in best position, but Archie comes from behind, gets it over the line. Oh, I thought he was in a lot of trouble then, Tim.
You're not wrong, but a good effort in the end. I'll tell you what, Scotty Matthews' hands back here was fantastic, just to get it out of the contest.
Eagles bench there. A few pensive players, including David Gallagher with the hand to the face.
Archie and Earl, the other two.
Ball back into play. Ackland took possession. Now he's got some space in front of him for Wilson. If he can just pull it in, he does. Quick long hand pass over the top to Carter, running from the half-back line. Oh, Darzanos closed on him so quickly, and in the end, Carter's kick wasn't the best. Jamie Tate covers it up. Now Floriani around the corner, gives it back to Carter. Carter with some space, hand passes it off to Harwood, who then dropped the ball off his hand as he tried to hand pass. Darzanos did the same thing. Warrior, clean, quick, kicks it forward for Port Adelaide. Chance, Poole comes out, and off the chest, down the ground. Steed roves it well, off to Waite, around the corner, opportunity gone, opportunity lost, and a minor score for Port Adelaide stretches the margin to 4 points.
Jamie Tate's not fit enough to be out there.
I think that's a fair call. There's obviously something wrong with him, and I know that I saw a trainer talking to him in the first term. He isn't right, because he's a fantastic player. He's going to have to come off, I believe. That particular movement, some great efforts, but 2 really bad mistakes by Harwood, and then Darzanos doing the exact same thing. But the pressure is on out there, and it is a really good final.
The Eagles are just one tall, a bit short. Crowell's probably the alternative to go back. They've got a couple of blokes who can play on a wing, sitting in the bunker. Warrior in front of Floriani. Floriani just wraps him up. Seems to be a change there. Harwood, Waite slips it out wide. Alfie Steed, through cutted, little fella, and he's missed to the right.
Well, that was probably the best opportunity for either side to get a goal in this term. And some very good slick handballs. Warrior and Harwood not coming off in the end.
Some niggle out there. A few painted faces on the other side of the fence as well.
Earl Fiarchi and Gallagher, any one of them can play on a wing. You just sense that Ronnie Fuller's holding the move, hoping that Tate will come good.
Well, Holland's kick wasn't the best. Ashley couldn't keep it in play and ducked the head. The umpire said too high. Umpires come in, signal too high. Ashley off to Wilson. Wilson will drive it inside again, looking for Poole. Poole in the square, comes out, it's open at back, look out. Tate will just see it across the line for the minor score.
Another good contest, but Port Adelaide will keep driving in. They'll have to get a result to make it all worthwhile eventually. Otherwise, the Eagles will just go down and go bang, and it makes it heartbreaking.
Holland, the specialist back pocket player who made the state squad early in the year, but has had his season wrecked with injury. Chips it forward to Crowell on the defensive 50-metre line. Lyle stands the mark, but Crowell goes right down the grandstand wing. Broome was carving hard at it. Darzanos one-handed attempt, but Carr forces it to the line, and he'll reset it for Port Adelaide. We're 9 minutes in, 5-2 to 5-8. 6 points the margin in favour of Port Adelaide in the preliminary final. It's do or die, and it's starting to just liven up a little bit. O'Connor, front position, forces the ball forward. McClure just gets a good shepherd, concedes a little bit of ground, drives it back to Fruin, who pushes it high into the stratosphere. It goes underneath. It's one Ackland, up and down. Vicky was there, couldn't mark. Cicalella at the back, but Steed rose beautifully to Carr. Now Steed on the left boot. That's a perfect kick. Oh, was it? Floriani read it beautifully, cut it off, got one high. Waite got him, decapitated him.
He had to stop him, though.
He'll pick his head up and take the kick.
That was a good effort by Floriani, because if he was through and away.
Great courage, Floriani. Moments in finals are made of that, and Floriani was made of the right stuff. There's a free kick, however, for Port Adelaide. Lyle will go back and take it. Or is it Ackland?
Ackland.
Lyle was calling for the ball, and Ackland on the defensive 50 takes it.
Cicalella's in trouble. He's out of that. I think trying to do a shepherd, and instead he's hurt himself. He's limping away forward of this contest by about 15-20 metres.
You can sense that Central's, Neil, will be just licking their chops at this.
Oh,
the Eagles and Port Adelaide smashing each other to pieces.
And as if Cicalella wasn't bad enough, Alfie Steeds runs straight into him. So now Fruin gets it inside 50 again. Ackland sits at the front, does a strong effort, can't pull it to ground. Fiarchi almost got his first kick. He got his first touch, but he couldn't get it away cleanly. Polton comes in, and so does the umpire, says, I'll have it. And Steed is giving Cicalella what for back on the 50-metre line. He's just, Cicalella, I think, signalling to the bench, I'm in trouble. He certainly can't run away from it as umpire Chambers puts the ball down inside the forward 50. Ackland knocks it in the direction of Steed and Cicalella. And Fiarchi comes out with it, now back to Beveridge, just taken. Fiarchi turns on his left leg, kicks it inside forward 50. The mark should be taken by Ackland, he can't. It comes down to McClure, good rove. Off to, well, it's just Colville, just being dogged by Ashley, who's in there again and knocking the ball away. The Eagles, relentless. Here they come, so Port Adelaide for that matter. Colville again tries. Oh, good hand pass, Shirley, straighten up. Goal coming up, Shirley. Goal for the Eagles. Good finish. The first one for Shirley. The Eagles sixth, and they take the scores dead level.
Shirley's second goal for the year, Tim. He doesn't kick a lot, but probably none more important than that one.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to miss. Just pure persistence by the Eagles forwards to keep the pressure on. Port Adelaide kept tackling, kept doing the right things, but it was always going to happen. And good handball by Colville to release Shirley. Straight at goal, didn't miss. And Port Adelaide had their probably 7 or 8 minutes inside their forward 50, couldn't convert. The Eagles had their chance 2 or 3 minutes and converted well.
Scores locked away, 12 minutes in as we go down to Michael Parsons. Port Adelaide about to make a move.
Yes, just going a little shorter on the forward line. Harwood's going to come off, and Chris Robinson come on to give those crummers on the forward line a bit of reinforcement.
Thanks, Michael, for that. Beveridge, wide. Fiarchi, he's been an impact player. Has come off the bench and has picked up 3 or 4 quick possessions. He's fighting the ball, and that's what the Eagles needed.
Good tackle here by Tommy Carr, taking him over the boundary line, but Pedler wanted to come off and change for Earl to get the matchup on Robinson right, and
His instincts are right.
Earl sent him away.
Well, I think the Earl's waiting for the coach to make the move, but Pedler says, come on. They've obviously got their matchups worked out. Pedler knew he had to come off, and Earl was hesitant. But the coach would like that, the fact that a player can recognise so quickly a mismatch and fix it so readily. As Brown, the Magarey medalist, chips it forward on the left boot. O'Connor, that's his first handball, Moggy, isn't it? Off to Lyle, and distributes it wide. John Cock missed it. He was streaming forward. Polton backs him up, chips forward into a little bit of space, and off the ball there's a free kick that's coming back. The advantage allowed to flow. Well, I guess that's the reason there was a free kick. Beveridge forward, Colville bustled out of the contest. Ashley's playing a wonderful game for Port Adelaide. Lindsay handballs forward, Ashley dragged down in the contest. Colville over the top of Ackland. Now it's Beveridge and Alfie Steed. Steed wraps him up. Play on, says the umpire, as the ball comes back, and Colville and Ackland share it around 13 and a half minutes in. Scores locked away, 38 points each. This is the game we wanted.
Another change, Beveridge off for Darzanos. Matty Ashley holding his breath. He made a fantastic contest, 2 or 3 efforts. Ackland off for Blade. O'Connor will go back into the ruck.
O'Connor just gets it forward, towed forward though, in the end by the Eagles. John Cock takes possession, under pressure, gets the hand pass out to Carr, pursued by Fianchi, gets the kick away. Cicolella read it best. No, it wasn't Cicolella, it was Floriani.
And he's got the job on Eugene Warrior, and he's wrapped him up beautifully.
Good hand pass from Floriani. It's set the Eagles free. Darzanos in space, hands it off the crowd. Boy, he's got some pace and space to work with. Closes inside 50. Wait on it, a goal! What a running goal from the Eagles. And they take that margin. 6 points, the Eagles lead it by 14 and a half minutes into the second term.
I just reckon the last 5 minutes as well, Port Adelaide's forwards have been behind their opponents. The Eagles defenders have played in front. Floriani, perfect example of that. He created that goal by being in front, got it down the wing position, off they went. Another clean possession. Crowd nearly mucked it up, but he steadied up and kicked a good goal.
He did his best, didn't he? Took the bounce, took the risk.
So back at the bounce, 6 points the margin in favour of the Eagles. Ashley thumps it forward. Brown forced onto the right boot, drives into a little bit of space. Out comes Binky, bustled out of the contest by Jamie Tate. Play on, says the umpire, as Port Adelaide, through the agency of Brown, drive it forward again, but Earl drifts back. They've got Holland and Earl. A couple of little playmakers late on. Well done. That was Steed. Lyle back, concedes a little bit of ground. O'Connor, the big man, lumbers one forward into a little bit of space. Poole came hard at it, gave everything. Warrior turns around inside and out, bends it back. Oh! It's missed. A point. Warrior liked it. I think he was trying to talk the umpire into it. And it must have been close.
He was trying exactly that, but the effort of Alfie Steed to turn the ball over was superb. Port Adelaide have missed some opportunities, and that was another one that's just gone begging a little bit. 5-9 plays 7-2. You can see that they've had their chances.
See a bit of rain falling too. Warriors got 2 goals, 2 so far. Port Adelaide 5-9 plays the Eagles 7-2. Just waiting, short to Tate. Tate takes the mark. That was an interesting decision to go short. Tate was under pressure. He goes short again, turns it straight over. Chance for Robertson, picks it up, dishes, tries to dish up the hand pass, maybe too unselfish. Now Port Adelaide comes in, now the Eagles come in. Holland handballs to himself, gets it forward. The Eagles clear, miraculously, I think, from their forward 50, but it's only as far as O'Connor. Chance, can he pick it up? Oh, great attack on him from Lindsay. Just got it off. Now, Port Adelaide, opportunity through Feagit. Feagit kicks it back inside 50, and the punch comes from the Eagles' defence again. Boy, working overtime, both sides there.
Just slipped out of Robertson's hands at the crucial moment as he tried to give it off to Warrior.
5 points the margin, rain falling, and even in these conditions, Tim, this is a really high-quality game.
It certainly is. It's very difficult as the rain comes down now to keep hold of the footy, but good contest.
Ashley done very well on Colville. That kick fell into the hands of Waite. Picks up forward now, waiting for a lead. Not much on offer, but the Eagles don't have a lot of numbers back there either, so he just props it up looking for Binky, and Binky will come out. And over the back, Poole, chance, Soccer, no, he doesn't have to. Oh, here's another goal, unselfish play, Darryl Poole. His hands were so clean in the wet, and Port Adelaide has the lead again.
Well, that's excellent. Eugene Warrior had been quiet. Floriani had done a good job so far in this term, but ever the perfect half-forward contest there. Daryl Poole stayed down, which was sensible. Ended up giving the ball up beautifully to Warrior, which caused the goal. But they had to get a goal. There have been so many attacks, so many thrusts forward that eventually something had to come off.
18 minutes into the second term of the preliminary final. Port Adelaide reclaimed the lead by 1 point. A real seesawing contest as Fegert comes off under the blood rule and will be replaced by Clayton. So there's plenty of blood being spilt. That one on the knee. I don't know the players particularly worry about those, but umpires need to. As Clayton goes forward and umpire Chambers sets them at it again.
They're going to put Wade down to replace Fegert for the moment and Clayton up forward.
So Wade goes right over the other side. He'll have the job on Darzanos, or Carter goes across to pick up Darzanos. And McGregor is picked up by Wade. So Port Adelaide ringing the changes. Lindsay up and down. Anthony Brown bustled out of it, handballed forward. Shirley was upended. Here comes Lindsay. Great contest, Lyle and Waite.
Yeah,
this game's got it all.
That's the way to do it. Both sides going in very hard. Lindsay's really lifted his work rate.
Wet weather football here at Football Park in the preliminary final. You can't quite see it on your television sets, but I promise you it's slippery and wet for the players. As Colville feeds it backwards to Crowell, who's providing plenty of drive for the Eagles. McClure was the target. 19.5 minutes played. 1 point the margin in the do-or-die game of 2001. Who gets a crack at Central in the grand final? Crossy, would you pick a winner from here?
Don't ask me that question. Unbelievable. First time these two sides have met in the preliminary final, and there's nothing in it at the moment. In finals overall, they've won 3 apiece. That ball out of bounds on the full. John Cock will have to go and get it himself, I think. No.
Nigel Fegert is ready to come back on. Got the bandage around the knee. It'll be Mark Wade coming off.
Wilson, plenty of space. Just dropped the mark, but he got plenty of time to pick it up. Not a lot on offer. And he just runs across, comes to this side of the ground. His kick was pretty good to Archie. Had to pull it in and did.
Now that's a great grab, isn't it, in these conditions?
Hands it off now to Polton. Releases Wilson again. Wilson's got some space. Plays on. Great take. Great break. Gets it forward, but the kick wasn't just quite there. Just stumbled a bit perhaps, and Jamie Tate cuts it out. The Eagles just looking to slow things down. 20 minutes in, second quarter. Earl just comes forward. One of only 2 players from the Eagles to have played every game this season. Goes short again. The other one's Gavin Colville, if you're wondering. Robert Shirley with the mark at half-back.
Jamie Tate succumbs to his hamstring injury and sits down.
And it goes back Colville. A rare possession for the Redhead. He's been blanketed by Ashley so far.
First kick this quarter.
The kick's a long one. And over the back. Oh, well, it didn't get that far. I thought O'Connor was best placed, but instead McGregor off to Darzanos. He's waiting for a player to come to him. He's biding his time. He's waiting. He's waiting. Over the back comes Hall. Hall, the defender, and Archie, also the defender, takes the marks. That's interesting. Hall's obviously run a long way from the full back line for the Eagles, and now Port Adelaide a chance to take the ball out of defence.
I think it was Matthews Crossy, which is probably saying a bit. There's been a lot of moves. Lyle over the top, and Waite in front of Shirley. Gee, there's been some coaching moves, Tim, in this game.
Been very good, hasn't it?
I think both coaches will be commended. It's the matchups have been terrific. It's high-speed chess out there this afternoon. This one as Lindsay on the left boot just drops one into the path of Chris Kluzak. He couldn't quite get to the contest. Polton goes off the ground, forces it wide. Eugene Warrior just inside the line. Safety first, heads to the line, and we'll have a throw in. 22 minutes gone, second term of the preliminary final, and they're still playing bumper cars out there.
Beautiful work by Wilson just to keep Floriani off his own man.
So at the throw in, O'Connor from behind just paddles it down. Warrior was the target, and umpire Kevin Chambers will bounce. Good crowd, good banter, and a great game of football in the Weta Football Park. Great advertisement for SANFL footy. And Stephen Williams goes for the phone to ring another change. What about that? Well, the crowd go up, and the umpire blows his whistle and says, dead heat.
A lot of those in this game, Paddy.
Well, I don't know that I've seen a game, Neil, this season where the sides have been so evenly matched right throughout.
No, I must say, certainly in our broadcast games, there's not been too many matches that have been this tight. Port Adelaide by a point.
23 minutes into the second term, 1 point the margin, and really, you couldn't pick a winner this far out.
No.
Stephen Williams just rotating the big men.
And Carter over the ball, looked to have dropped it. Dropped the ball onto his boot in the end. That allowed Johncock into a bit of space. He looks for O'Connor, not really the skills he can perform in this sort of weather, but it comes off in the end, and Port Adelaide another opportunity to go forward. Holland, well, he came from behind, went to the front. In the end, he suffers through, well, he suffers through the conceded behind. But geez, he did well. Steve tried to put the body on him. He got to the front and then let the ball slip over the back. So a minor score, a margin 2 points in favour of Port Adelaide.
Julian Waite doing a job on Nicholas Pesh, and Pesh has come off now and Beveridge on. So there's been a lot of matchups today. Both teams and both coaches really working their interchange quite a bit and doing it well.
And Nick Pesh had 5 kicks to 4 handballs.
Thanks for that, Ian Mogridge. As Earl goes forward, Prowl, two-handed attempt, falls to Clayton. He's dragged to the ground by Fruin. Couldn't get it clear. What does the umpire say? He lets play flow on, and the players have sorted it out. McClure gets a handball over the top. Matthew Ashley had his head taken off by Crowell. The umpire saw that one. Free kick, and Ashley, Ian Mogridge is having a terrific game.
Yeah, he'll be the first player on the ground to 10 kicks.
And what about Gavin Colwell, his direct opponent?
He's had 5 and 5.
Right, so 10 possessions apiece, but you'd have to say at this stage, the points are going with Ashley. Towards full forward, 2 attempts, O'Connor and Binky. Neither of them could bring it down. The big man and O'Connor gathers it in. Pedler and Colville wrap him up. We'll have another bounce. Nobody is going anywhere.
It's fantastic in close, isn't it? It is a final. You'd expect that the two teams would be desperate, and they are.
All down. Colville got another possession, but it only went straight to Wilson.
This bloke's been good, Wilson, and I know he's on Crowell early, but he's come into it.
His kick wasn't the greatest. Now he's just slipped through everybody, though. Steve takes his opportunity. No! Ooh.
Is that a man that's just missed a bit of footy, or just didn't handle the wet football?
Either way, it's a minor score, and Port Adelaide edge out now to a 5-point lead.
I think more importantly to me, he's aware he's on Holland. Holland's very quick, and I think he overstepped trying to make sure he had enough pace, and in overstretching, he just extended a little too far, searching for the ball.
At the other end of the ground, a change from Stephen Williams. Harwood's come on to pick up the Archie, playing in the forward pocket.
Thanks, Michael. Hall. Target was Lindsay over that player's head. Here comes Holland, the speedster. Picks up the ball, breaks the line, and goes long towards centre half forward. Pigott was clean bowled, wet ball, difficult to take. Julian Waite with the slick hands. Harwood now a defender. Off it goes to Clayton. Porter to left half back. Uses the left foot to square it up. Underneath one, Binky and O'Connor. This time it's Binky. Plays on quickly, forces it out wide. 2 opportunities. Johncock, 55 out and closing, goes long towards the goal. And he's missed. Real opportunity goal missing then for Port Adelaide.
I don't like to be rude, but as a senior player, if I was Carter, I'd have been demanding that ball off of young Johncock, because, you know, Carter is a very good kick for goal. I just reckon at the time, young Johncock could have given it off to him quite easily and really made it inside 50 and made it easy.
In dead level this quarter, Porter kicked 1-7, the Eagles 2-1.
McClure takes the ball from the kick out. 26, almost 27 minutes gone. Eagles have come this side of the ground every time, virtually, from the kick outs. Big Lindsay, the mark, from a sitting position, gets up and handballs it off. Sikalella finishes with the ball. Just holds it up. That's what they did towards the end of the first term. Remembering, though, the Eagles trail by 4 points. They've got a couple loose inside 50. One of them is Hall. He takes possession. They look to switch the play, but it never happened. Port Adelaide able to pick up its players. Now he's got one short. Earl leads, takes the mark. He's off quickly, drives it, long, hard, finds Cicolella in space. Cicolella's got Fiachi. Fiachi runs onto it, takes the mark. He's a left footer, so want to go around. Oh, they will left McGregor. McGregor in front of 3 Port Adelaide players converging. They couldn't get there. McGregor takes the mark inside 50.
I tell you what, just before McGregor has his shots, how often would a side have double the scoring shots and only lead by 4 points? 18-9 at the moment. Port Adelaide in front by 4 points, and McGregor a chance to put the Eagles in front.
Moggy quickly forward 50 entries though.
Yeah, Port have had 22 to the Eagles 19.
Got closer. They just haven't obviously got the rewards in any way on the scoreboard, both sides really, as McGregor comes in, over the ball, likes it, coming back, goal to the Eagles, and they take a 2-point lead at the 28-minute mark of the second term.
And that's efficient football from the Eagles. They keep their forward line very open. They work it in well. Cicolella's a class player. That was a really good pinpoint kick to Fiachi. His vision was great when he got back onto his left. And as Neil Cross called, nobody wanted to stand next to McGregor.
Well, it wasn't that Fegan was coming out. He could see that Fiachi was clear. So Fegan left his man and nobody covered for him. So Fegan did the right thing trying to cover for teammates, but nobody gave him the support he required. Darzanos gets it away. Lindsay handballs forward. Beveridge out of the middle. Drives it long at the back. Archie punches. Set himself beautifully. Brings it to ground. Carter chips short. Uses the ball pretty well to Alfie Steed. He's off. The little fella almost run down by Beveridge. Was he decked? No. The crowd didn't like it. The umpire let it go. Pedler. Great contest on Bicky. That's a pretty good matchup. Bicky did very well. Off it goes to Robertson, who chips it into O'Connor in the pocket, and Hall got there late. And the siren is sounded at the 28.5-minute mark of the second term. The Eagles are 8-2-50. Port Adelaide 6-12, 48. 2 points the margin in favour of the Eagles. But Ryan O'Connor did make it 1 point down with a point, or 5 points up. The mark was paid.
Well, either way, it's still going to be a close contest. And it was superb work by Binky to keep the whole thing alive by just dragging the ball inside the boundary line. So
O'Connor knows how to kick a goal. He's kicked 16 goals, 7 this year. From his 21 games, he's been pretty accurate, and he's got a fair bit of daylight that he can look at. He can't play on. He needs to run in and just kick this straight. Port Adelaide trail by 2 points. They look to their Magarey medalist as they go into half-time, and he's kicked truly.
a point.
Well, it's a point. It looked good off the boot. It was coming back. So Port Adelaide go into half-time, Tim, trailing by just 1 point.
Well, I know Stephen Williams will be very fired up. I reckon he would say, guys, if we had kicked accurately for, 10 minutes of that quarter, we could have really had ourselves a nice little break at half-time. In the end, I think the Eagles were probably a little bit cleaner at times and a little bit more efficient into their forward line. And it's made for a great contest. I mean, 1 point at half-time, what else could you want?
So 1 point the margin. The Eagles are 8-2-50. Port Adelaide 6-13, 14-9. Hope you're enjoying the SANFL Finals on ABC